attempt to avoid scrutiny. Now, heavy fighting broke in northern Mexico after security forces seized one of the sons of jailed drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Fighting raged for several hours after Ovidio Guzman Lopez was found during a routine patrol in the city of Culiacan. Footage on Mexican TV showed armed men with heavy weapons firing on police with vehicles, bodies, and burning barricades strewn across the street. Guzman was later released to further avoid violence, the authorities said. And that's it on the foreign scenes, and up next is our business news.
And in business, President Muhammadu Buhari unexpectedly closed Nigeria's borders to imported goods in August, declaring the time had come to end rampant smuggling across the porous frontiers. The head of the nation's Customs Agency, Comptroller General Ahmed Ali, said Nigeria has closed its land borders to all movements of goods and has no timeline for reopening them. According to him, operatives of the ongoing joint border security had seized items worth 1.4 billion naira since the partial closure of the border. As a result, neighboring countries have since felt the brunt of the closure. However, to speak with me right now in the studio is Osilama Okwofu. He's the partner at Work Edge Consulting and an economic analyst. Hello.
Hello, Ari.
Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for joining us. Regarding the border closure, in August, we saw that the Nigerian government announced the partial closure of its western border with Benin to curb rice smuggling, which is threatening the country's attempt to boost its local production. So has this achieved the purpose intended?
First of all, let's look at the reason and the objective behind the closure. Okay. It's essentially to help boost local production of some of these items that we import. Especially at a time when Nigeria just recently signed on to the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, where nations would need to be very competitive. I think this is coming at a good time.
All right, but then some people believe that for the fact that we do not have the infrastructure necessary to at least ensure that the cost of production here in Nigeria locally is a lot cheaper. That's quite a major concern for these people.
Yeah, when you say infrastructure, sometimes again you ask yourself the chicken and the egg, which comes first? We can't continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect a totally different result. What I think the government has done essentially is to force this on us. Mm-hmm. It may look harsh, but on the long run, over time, we'll be better off.
All right, let's shift the conversation a bit to the pains and the gains of the closure to Nigerians and the business owners.
Sorry, could you take that again?
Let's take the conversation now to the pains and the gains of the closure to Nigerians and then their business owners. We saw that inflation reports came out and the cost of food has gone up.
Well, yeah, of course, on the immediate and short term, we would expect a rise in the cost of these items that we import. But by the time the local produces start hitting the market, as I expect they would between now and December, we'll start seeing a drop in price. Now, let's take rice importation, for example.
Okay.
Nigeria, as we are right now, we're producing quite a large quantity of local rice. The vice president yesterday, went to a rice farm, and only to the people behind it because of where they started from a couple of years ago and where they are now. I'm aware also that in the East, there's massive production of rice, which is beginning to hit the market. I think we just need to, let this run its course. On the medium and long run, we're better off.
So how can the federal government help resolve challenges faced by the local rice farmers and as well as encourage massive local production?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There's been a lot of encouragement. The Anchor Borrower Scheme, for example, it's a big success. I just think that the vice president went to a private farm, to encourage them and give them kudos for what they. I mean, that's moral support. Again, too, there has been a lot of collaboration between agencies of government and individuals, and even between states and states. A lot is going on. Like I said, it's just that we have a penchant for everything that is imported. I read recently that a company that produces. Hello?
Hello? Yeah, I can hear you.
I read recently that, a company that produces rice in Nigeria and that has gone into it, on a very large scale, had to sanction 2 of their major local distributors. And what was the reason? They bought at low cost, went to rebag with foreign bags and start selling at very exorbitant prices. Again, so you see that it goes beyond the government and trying to encourage us. It's again to our attitudes. We have this penchant for everything imported, and no matter the price that is attached to it, now we'll go for it. Whereas even the local produces, to a very large extent, might even be better.
All right, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you, Silama Okofo.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Still ahead on Plus TV Africa News is our roundup on entertainment and sports. We'll be back in a moment.
And in entertainment, American rapper Kanye West is gearing up to release his IMAX film, Jesus is King, while he keeps delaying the release of his new album with the same title. The rapper has just debuted a new teaser trailer for the upcoming documentary movie. The 1-minute-long sneak peek is set to a rendition by a gospel choir ends with a quote from the Bible verse Mark 1:15, which reads, "In the words of Jesus Christ, the time is fulfilled and the kingdom of God is at hand. Repent and believe in the gospel." Kanye's foray into gospel music and film is a testament of his renewed faith in Christ. And that's it on entertainment. And in sports now, Nigeria international Victor Osimhen has been rewarded for his imperious performances last month after winning the French Top Flight Prize. The Lille striker has been named the League One Player of the Month for September, beating Algeria and Monaco forward Islam Slimani. The Super Eagles frontman hit the ground running after joining the Great Danes from Belgian side Sporting Charleroi in the summer and has been rewarded for his efforts. The 20-year-old striker scored 2 goals and provided 2 assists last month to help his side secure 8 points. His impressive form ensured he beat the challenge of Slimani and Nantes defenders Nicolas Palois to clinch the individual accolade. The former Wolfsburg striker has scored 7 league goals in 9 games for the Great Danes this season. Osimhen will hope to maintain his form when Lille slug it out against Toulouse on Saturday. And that's it on sports, and that's our news roundup of events at this hour. Also, for more news updates, please follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa. We will be back later with more stories making the headlines. Please join us again. I am Amaka Okoye, and have yourselves a great day.
On this episode, we are one-on-one with an elder statesman, an accomplished engineer, broadcaster, pastor, and a former Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority. The cost of running this government is really high.
Yes.
Is there anything that can be done right now to salvage the situation?
You want to cut perhaps the salary of the senators and people in the National Assembly. But then when you consider that you have 36 governors, you have state houses of assembly, it is quite a challenge. The Shore case, I think, is a bit touchy. I think once the court has made a pronouncement, we should abide by the rule of law. The sex for grade, which has now gone into the universities and all that. I think something has gone wrong all round, including the churches.
Premiering this Monday at 12:30 p.m. and repeat broadcast at 8:30 p.m. on Plus TV Africa.
Welcome to The Advocate. As my people say, today, not today, ogbegbe, let's go there.
You don't need to study economics or law or anything to know that you don't squander money on yourself and then you tell others to go and work.
Do we really enforce this law?
Coming to my point.
Yeah. No, what you said was quite different. You said there are no sanctions.
Where you have sanctions in the books that are not enforced, what it means is that there are none.
The man had the courage to bring out his private and show time. But I just feel that the culture here, even the victims themselves, are victims in their own minds first.
If you know the budget for sex in Nigeria is higher than the budget, the national budget.
Come on, say it again.
If you know the budget for sex in Nigeria is higher than the budget, the
national budget.
And until we reverse this trend, our economy will continue to be in reverse gear.
Quite. It has been in reverse forever.
Country people, we dey thank una one that joined us on top News on the Hour for Plus TV Africa.
This na number 63 Massey Street for Itafaji, where building just collapsed by 10 a.m. this morning.
They say the Oga of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, don't tell federal government say if they provoke him, it go cause wahala for inside the country.
Because if the British citizen no be say you go enter Nigeria, come cause kasala, run go Britain, go stay in peace.
Them say na the diesel truck catch fire as they try offload the diesel way they inside. Come out, fire department come try quench the fire.
For the first time for Nigeria, every will enjoy television news for Ogbonge Pidgin English.
For more tori, make una kukuma follow us at Plus TV Africa on top Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Make una subscribe to our YouTube page and for Star Times on channel 308.
Welcome to Tea Time on Plus TV Africa, where we bring you the biggest entertainment stories and, of course, analyze them for you.
You can have both parents and still end up as a useless child. I see them every day.
Most times I worry more about where I'm coming from and where I am now, and that determines my next step.
Why are you sounding like
Alibaba
now?
Plus TV Africa, we're feeling good. No time to dull, everybody feeling alright.
Make music and people are still buying. Sometimes I look myself minimal IO.
Akpala music is for mature-minded people. I got DMs sometimes from Malawi like
sleeping early. This is Plus TV Africa, where big stories live. Welcome to Tea Time, where we'll bring you the biggest entertainment stories and also very, very interesting personalities. And of course, we have one for you on this episode. But before all that, my name is Ossie Godwin, and I'm here with Ewa Oluwa Uritu and Ife Oluwa Oshunkeye.
What up?
Why is it that you two have Oluwa in your names? Like, when I rhyme them, it makes me feel somehow.
That's why the vibe is there. See, she keeps pointing out why we don't even know why we're so much in love.
Okay. Congratulations,
the moment
guys.
we know why we're in love, we stop being in love.
Yeah.
So it's better people point out all these things.
And they will be like,
oh, we didn't even know.
When is Yashabi?
Not yet. Just
you don't need to label it, right?
We're not in a hurry. Even when we want to get married, it would just be the both of us, with a pastor in front of the beach in Miami or something, and we just do our thing low key, and then we fly back in our private jet back to Nigeria, and then the deed is done, right?
I love it when people dream. But so good.
I love it when people think.
I love it,
till they see it happen.
Wait for it.
But don't come and spoil my market too. We're not dating in real life.
Because we will pretend for just one episode.
Can you imagine?
My sweetheart, you know
All right. Before we introduce our guest, let's talk about a few of the things trending. We're starting with Vector, who has agreed to face M.I. Abaga in a rap battle, as Hush Puppy and Willie XO have placed 40 million naira on the event. Yeah, we have a quick video on that. Let's see how Vector reacts to it.
Okay, bless me, please.
Guys, I got a call from Willie XO,
water,
and that shows he's serious. And now that Hush Puppy has joined, that's more serious. right? And the money is now 40 million, which is more serious. That's Gazamba money. Have you seen Gazamba is size? That's that level of money. Gazamba Belebile, I thought is back. I don't mean they beef you now. Don't worry yourself, we'll go back to collect 40 million, do surgery for you, maybe okay. Yeah, for the culture too, it's great. It's Gazamba money. Like, most importantly, 40 million is big money. So now, I don't take the challenge. The challenge right now is, I'm good to go. Just let me know the date, the venue, the time, and we're good to go. Woo! Even if it's tomorrow. Let's go. We did. Oh, Lord. Georgia. Yeah, 40 million at Kalubs. Let's go, boy. Let's go and rap. Don't worry. Yeah. We'll rap. Guy, don't worry yourself. I mean, but on a serious note, you can also donate some of them to charity. I mean, Mono just forget where to come because guy, I suffer everywhere for Nigeria. More just remember. But yeah, as for the battle, I'm game. I'm down. I'm gonna give them 100%. Nothing to solve. With full ground. Full ground is a sign for beat you. No understand. With full ground, where? Waiting full ground again. Quota for road. But one final note, the snake has spoken his mind, though. No ratting, no. More no say we serious as we serious this one, no rat. So I think at the year now. Ironically, we are doing it for the cheese.
That laugh is serious. But the part I like was where he wanted to say most important. They were like, I beg, the more money is the most important. What is more important than 40 million naira? But I kind of feel like Emma is not going to take this challenge because he has admitted, I don't know if you guys saw the tweet today, we were discussing the things that Vector had tweeted. Sorry, Emma had tweeted about Vector in the past. And there was this tweet where he said he knows that Vector is good when it comes to freestyle and rap battles, but Emma is better when it comes to writing. So I'm not sure he's going to take up this challenge.
Intellectual people are not.
I don't think he's going to be.
Okay, no, don't let me say that because if you're spontaneous with your thoughts and you're able to do freestyle music, that makes you very intellectual as well. So, but there are some people that also need to sit down to get to that point of their creative process and then put your words together. So someone asked me that if they battle, who do I think will win? And I said, definitely, if it's freestyle, I think Vector is going to kill MI. But if it's written, if you're saying, okay, let's come with written bars and I'm allowed to read out whatever I've written. Oh, Vector. So sorry for you.
Like, you agree? I agree that Vector is going to win if they have a face-off, but I don't think MI would take it. To be honest, I want him to take it.
You want to be the chairman?
I actually don't want him to take it.
I don't want him to take it too.
Me, I want him to take it because it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a very interesting show. And you know, it's just that it will be like a beginning or a comeback for the rap game in Nigeria.
You have come back
once this face-off starts, you see who have other rap battles and other rap challenge that will come up. I mean, somebody can even put it into something like a show.
I don't understand how we try to make everything about money in this country, because if we're talking about the hip-hop culture and beef is part of the culture, then why are we putting down money to see the culture?
Well, I mean, it happens everywhere. As long as
where they drop money for people to do
probably not publicized this way. This is more publicized now because there was already a beef that people are following. But
so you're telling me the Meek Mill Drake beef was based on cash? The Tupac and Biggie, the late Tupac and Biggie was based on cash. Are you telling me the Pusha T Drake thing was
might not come out publicly for you to know.
Trust me.
But there's always a bet somewhere.
Everywhere.
No, there's always a bet underneath. Now, I don't think people want to do a face-off. I even find it very insulting for you to approach me and say, oh, I want you to battle this person, I'll give you so. No, I'm not an upcoming artist, especially if I'm in MI's category. I'll be insulted. If you ask me.
I don't see. Let me tell you. I don't think
400 million.
What is wrong with you?
I'm very sure MI does not feel insulted about this.
But he's not. I mean,
he might not take it, but I'm sure he doesn't feel insulted at all.
Remember his last track? He said that was going to be the last response. So that was why I said he's not even going to respond to the deal. So for this one, I don't think he's going to take it. But if he takes it, Well, we'll be entertained.
But
like you said.
we're talking about it. There are people that went to Big Brother house for 3 months. They got 60 million.
Yeah,
20 million different.
Just
like,
one night.
Come on, just go do that. Okay.
And I feel like if you think you're the best rapper, prove it to your fans and the world.
Don't take it, MI.
I wish so Black Bones would so take it for MI.
It will take it.
I mean,
MI,
Black
okay.
Bones will want to
If
take it.
what's it called? Vector should agree to battle one of MI's boys. Maybe
No, but
why will Vector want to battle one of MI?
No, MI is too big for Vec.
Please drop that in.
Okay, it's time for a quick break. But when we come back, we'll definitely introduce our studio guests. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, my people? It's your boy Elvis Poco. I want to say to you, keep watching Tea Time on Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
That money will shoot every person that we know can shoot. We don't let people die there.
You could have killed me for a long period of time.
Since that time why I carry gonorrhea. I first go hospital first, but it no go. Now I can't make that mama.
He just pulled it, he pointed and shot.
They suffer too much. They suffer too much.
Issues around the Nigerian police, we have to tackle it holistically.
Seize it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's Tea Time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Hi guys, my name is Georgie. Keep watching Tea Time on Plus TV Africa.
Welcome back. This is Tea Time on Plus TV Africa. Our guest on this episode is a UK-based award-winning world music singer, songwriter, music producer, and university music lecturer. She has performed in countries such as Norway, Sweden, South Africa, Botswana, Switzerland, Zambia, Germany, France, United Kingdom, and of course, Nigeria. She's currently studying for her master's degree in music production and also works part-time as a lecturer teaching music business and commercial recording management. Let's make welcome the versatile and authentic Lauren Lionheart.
Hello. It's a massive intro. I'm actually thinking, is that me?
Yeah, of course, that's you.
So first, the Lionhearts, what does that represent?
The Lionheart, it's just a stage name that I wanted something that can challenge me to live up to it, because I'm constantly wanting to be better, and therefore constantly, it's a strong name, it's a strong character name, so I'm always trying to become Lionheart. I don't want to get to a stage in my life or in my career where I feel like, yeah, I've made it. I want to be forever trying to make it, trying to become Lionheart. So that's where the name comes from.
Okay. Last year you performed at Commonwealth's prestigious event.
Yes.
How did that feel like?
That was amazing. It was, overwhelming actually. We had one event where there were like all the Commonwealth heads of states and all the UK MPs and ministers and the royal family. It was overwhelming. But because it's the side of me that does, because I do kind of two different kinds of music, like the traditional African music, but also the Afro-pop contemporary kind of music. So the traditional music, when I do it, I really enjoy it. So Commonwealth was another opportunity to do that.
Okay, so for people who follow you on social media, you put out a lot of your sexuality out there. So what does that have to do with your creativity? Is it deliberate, or that's just how expressive you are?
I think with me, especially one of the reasons why I'm in Nigeria right now, to celebrate Fela Kuti, and one of the things that I really have earned or learned from Fela, it's very little to do with his music actually, it's just him being him. And he inspires me to be completely myself and not to compromise my expression, my identity for anything. So I'm quite selfish about who I am, and so when I express my sexuality, that is just me being me. It's not about, oh, I'm trying to be creative, or no. It's just
so that's a different part of you, and your music part is a different part of you.
I don't try to sort of split it and put it in little boxes or whatever. I just want to live my life in my own truth. Just if I can live my life from a very honest space, from a very truthful place, then I'll die happy. And I think that in a way has some sort of a butterfly effect. It can inspire people, you know, just people want to be themselves, because I think living your life for other people or not being able to express yourself because you're afraid of what people are going to say and everything, it's such a prison and a waste of life. So for me, it's like, I'm free. I am so free.
So does that affect your brand in any way? Like, do people want to disassociate themselves with you? I mean, from you, when they see such pictures and they're like, oh no, you're always putting this, you can't do this, we can't put you on this, you can't work for this brand. Does that affect you?
No, not at all. Because for me, I don't kind of live my life or do things in my career to kind of fit in with anybody, you know. So in fact, the people who disassociate themselves with me, I'm so happy when they do that. It's like, yeah, please, just my own tribe will already towards me. I will manifest the right people around me. So yeah, if somebody doesn't feel I fit their brand or whatever, that's absolutely fine. Chances are they don't fit mine.
Okay, can you tell us about your creative process?
In terms of what, making music?
And writing music.
Writing music. For me, a lot of my songs I write literally in my sleep. Like I'll be sleeping and I'll dream of a song and I'll wake up in the middle of the night and start writing. Or sometimes songs just come to me. So I hardly ever sit down and decide today I'm gonna write a song, because then it doesn't flow naturally, but they just come as and when they come. And then when they come, I just go and start writing.
Can you remember the first time you wrote a song? What was the dream?
The first time I wrote a song, I wrote actually a song called Solomon, which is very strange. But again, it was just one of those waking up in the middle of the night and I'm thinking, I've got a song. It's called Solomon, and it was just so strange.
And Solomon was about
Solomon, I know, it's like a Southern African kind of vibe song, which is kind of sounds more like a wedding, Southern African as well, wedding type vibe song, but has like a traditional folky sound to it as well, but it's Afro-pop. Yeah.
All right, so it seems like you've always had this mapped out, from studying music technology and talent management to doing your masters in music production. So is this something you've always wanted to do? Like, your parents have always been in support and you went to school and you did it and you know you're going to be a music star, that's just what you want to do?
No, not necessarily. As a kid, actually, I wanted to become a performer. I always knew I loved to entertain. So be it acting, I did quite a bit of theater, acting on stage. And I not actually had like a set route, like I want to become a singer or that kind of thing. So it wasn't until I had my son, I have a beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous son, when I just felt like, you know what, if I'm going to be the one later on in life telling him, you got to go for your dreams, you know, then I need to live by that example. Even if I try and fail and keep trying, I need him to experience that with me, so that later on he can think, you know what, I can just do whatever it is that I want to do. But prior to having my son, I was just, you know, earning a living, running businesses. I had a gym, leisure center. I did all sorts of things, boutiques, just making money. But then I just got to a point in my life where I felt like, nah, I need to do something that I feel called to do, passionate about.
Okay, you just broke a lot of hearts right now because I'm sure everybody, I'm sure the guys are like, oh, she's single, and then you just spoke about your son. So are you married or are you in a relationship?
I used to be married. I was married to my son's dad for a very long time, but we divorced for nearly 5 years ago now. So I've been single since, and I'm happy.
So your heart can be unbroken.
So you're still single?
No, but I am so happily single, very happily single.
Are you searching?
No, not at all. Because I think, when it comes to relationships and stuff, there's always a certain need, I think, whether it be it economical, emotional, sexual, whatever. But I'm just at a stage in my life right now where I'm so complete that sometimes it actually scares me. I'm thinking, where is that need, that want, like, I want to have a man type of thing. I mean, surely it should be a natural thing. But I'm just at a point where, I can do a whole lot of
that explains
stuff
the breakfast.
You can take care of yourself.
That explains the breakfast.
Okay, you're performing at Collaboration tonight?
Yes, I'm performing at the Shrine tonight and tomorrow at Freedom Park.
So what do we expect?
Tonight, actually, it's not going to be a very long one. It's going to be a brief, nice, sweet and short one. I've got some fantastic dancers that I'm performing with. It's going to be quite a Lorraine lineup performance. And tomorrow, I'm so excited about that one as well because I'm using a full band for this one, and I have a much longer slot where I can just get to relax into the music and just interact with the crowd more. But at the Shrine tonight, they have quite a lineup, so it's going to be a short one, but I'll make it sweet.
Is there any project you're working on right now?
Right now, yes, I'm doing a short documentary film on Afrobeat, and this is the perfect thing now being in Nigeria. I get to talk to some of the artists, producers about Afrobeat, and this is where it came from, and about Fela Kuti as well. So yes.
Okay, so are you planning any collaboration with any Nigerian artists soon?
I'm not on this trip, but I'm hoping, in the near future that I'll collaborate with somebody. So
who would you like to work with?
Okay, not so much an artist, but I've always wanted to work with Don Jazzy, mostly because I'm also into the academic, the technical side of music as well, and there's not many women in our industry who are like sound engineers and stuff like that, and it's just the gap there. So I think Don Jazzy, because I just feel like he would understand different aspects of me, not just, oh, she's a singer, so let's promote her as a singer. He would actually nurture, I feel, that's my sort of perception of him. I feel that he would nurture different areas of me musically. So,
do people just see you and profile you and just assume that, nah?
Yeah, but I kind of feel like, they have the right to, people can just, and I don't worry too much about what people think or how they kind of perceive me, because that's something that I have absolutely no control over. I can't control how somebody sees me, so I just let them crack on.
So you're supposed to sing for us, but our time is up, so I'll do my thank yous, and then you sign us out. No, of course, she's going to end the show.
I kept my questions so that she can sing.
All right, so thank you for watching, and like I always say, thank you as always. You go to my co-anchors, Ewa Oluwa Ritu and Ife Oluwa Oshankaya Oluwa Squared, and then of course the entire production team, and yes, our guest Lauren Hart. Thank you for being here. My name is Elsie Godwin. Thank you for watching, and of course over to you to sing us out for 30 seconds.
What, do you want me to sing a song? All right. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but yourself can free your mind. Redemption song, you know the song, right? Bob Marley, yes. I'm going to be doing it tomorrow at the Freedom Park.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria. Welcome
welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's Tea Time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
In recent times, getting employment is a major testimony. Getting a fantastic job, that's a cat with all the cream. So in what world does anyone ever leave that sort of job? Well, in this world. Not Your 9 to 5 show covers all the seemingly questions and intrigues.
I can't work for anybody. Number of times I spent with shoes, I see shoes in my dreams sometimes.
I can't be waiting for salary.
I know we have a lot of challenges.
Working for people is like starting from the scratch.
We have political issues, we have socio-economic issues, we even have spiritual issues.
I don't think I can do 9 to 5 anymore. So this is not your regular 9 to 5.
It's my life, my world.
Join me, Amaka Okoye, on Not Your 9 to 5, showing on Monday 5:30 p.m. and Thursday 11:30 a.m. West African time.
Politics has helped shape the decision of the polity, from conspiracy theories to good old-fashioned comic politics.
These are the results of tomorrow's election. Okay, you have it already, have you?
I think we've done very well in the very difficult circumstances in which we took over governance.
Plus, politics will fill the polls of the country, from friends to frenemies, even strange bedfellows, to clones and stooges. We go beyond the rhetorics and the drama to analyze the story behind the story.
Let everybody come and say!
The perception in itself does more harm than actual corruption that you have.
Plus Politics, not just another political show. It's about putting you, the citizens, in the know.
This TV station, Plus TV Africa, is designed to help to create a paradigm shift. The more we tell our stories, the more we learn from whatever our past mistakes have been.
We can be much more than we are. We should be doing a lot in refineries.
And we are definitely investing in our staff. We're training, we're developing, we're creating the kind of workforce that will be the envy of the international broadcast. The quality of the reportage, the quality of our presentation, the quality of our production will be obvious. We're saying that we want to reach Africans wherever they are and get the message across to them. That's what Plus TV Africa is all about.
I travel salute as soon take a join us inside the news on the Hour for Plus TV Africa. This one at the Tory we want summer given up inside this very o'clock. My name is Destiny Momo. President Muhammadu Buhari during by Friday received the report for the Presidential Advisory Committee for the Eliminate for Drug Abuse inside Presidential Villa, Abuja. The advisory committee we President arranged during by December 11, 2018, they chaired by one former military administrator for Lagos State, retired Brigadier General Buba Marwa. Other members for the committee include of the wife of the president, plus Vice President Hajia Aisha Buhari, plus Dolapo Osinbajo. The committee, they saddled with the responsibility to take a walk towards the reduce the level for drug abuse inside the country. Maradona inside January during by one official visit to Minister for the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Musa Bello, point in mind, say over 14 million people inside the country, they abuse drugs like a full-time work. The troops there for the Nigerian Army, where they attach the Joint Tactical Team, don't collect arrests given Islamic State for West Africa Province Logistics Supplier plus Korea Usman Yaje inside the Gubbio area for inside Borno State during by one operation. The Army yarn say preliminary investigate to show say Yage wey be Chadian been they linked plus maintain yarns with 3 ISWAP commanders where we be Goni Jere, Abdul Gaka plus Modu Sulum. According by one release where the Army Operations Media Coordinator, Colonel Aminu Iliasu, the troops have arrested one Boko Haram insurgent logistics supplier, we then call Alaji Lawan, will be alias Kafinol from Meina Hari area. The military notes say all the suspects been they make useful confession to take interrogate. Iliasu say troops where them deploy for Gubbio will successfully dodge Boko Haram attack inside their location, plus they neutralize one Boko Haram criminal where then recover one AK-47 rifle from, one magazine, one very high frequency radio, plus one mobile phone, syringe plus injections during by one mop-up operation. The Nigerian Army yarn said their troops don't continue to defend fire by force Boko Haram insurgent plus over plenty onslaught with they against them inside Borno plus other parts for the northeast. The Nigerian Army Operation Media Coordinator, Colonel Aminu Iliasu, yarn this yarn for one statement during by Friday inside Abuja. Iliasu yarn said the troop for Sector 3 Operation Lafia Dole, OPLD, don't recover one additional 4 AK-47 rifle plus one rocket propelled gun, RPG tube, 160mm commando mortar. According by him, the troops don't recover one abandoned gun truck plus one motorcycle which belong to the Boko Haram criminal will just take off. He still said the troops where them deploy Gubbio successfully don't dodge one Boko Haram attack for their location plus scatter one of the terrorists. According by him, one AK-47 rifle, one magazine, one very high frequency VHF radio, one mobile phone plus syringe, plenty injections being bust out during by one mop-up operate. Police don't bust another rehabilitative center on Monday, October 14, 2019, inside Daura, Katsina State, where inmates they subject badness treatment. The owner will get the center plus 2 others then collect arrest. The Katsina Police Command during by Friday say all the 67 inmates where they get for the Daura Rehabilitative Center plus those where they find for Niger Rehabilitate plus Reformation Center, Kofa Derby Quarters, Katsina don't reunite with their families. The spokesman for the command, SP Gamba Issa, make the clarificate sake of inquiry on top of the fate for the inmates. Investigate for Daura plus Katsina Rehabilitative Center still show plenty activities inside that place. Another petrol tanker don't explode along Enugu-Onitsha Expressway for Besoy filling station, Onitsha, Anambra State. The palaver day happened just 48 hours after some people lost their life from fuel tanker explode inside Upper Iweka and Ochanja market, where then say it happened during by Omapa Phase 2 for the wee hours on top of Friday. The tanker, when it carry petrol, now then say it fall for the middle of the road when it make a petrol pour full ground along the drainages. Some people where they stay near the area run come out from their house for fear of say make a fire no can roast them. Properties winning worth millions like buildings, motors plus other better things. Now then say fire burn through away just like that. They said nobody don't die as then they file this report. The Commissioner for Police John Abang now confirmed this palaver. As the rain continue to fall inside the Lagos, it don't leave many people where they use roads plus a neighborhood with flood as all the gutter don't block across the state. Irene Ubani entered the street to summer us this report well.
In the past weeks, Lagos has experienced recurrent rainfall, causing a high level of inconvenience for commuters within the state.
Money DVI, they're not going to even carry money from pocket, say me they do or me they do gutter. We don't get gutter for here.
It's not today. Since 1999, year 2000, VI always be a waterlog because everything comes from the government. They will come, they will do contracts, and we will not see the usefulness. All the old drainage is blocked. They want to be doing contract 15 times in a year. So what we've been experiencing here, if God is not saving our life, maybe one day VI is going to crack.
Anytime rainfall like this, people are not okay. Even the people are inside the vehicle, they find it difficult to move. Because of the flooding, it caused hold up, caused traffic on the road.
Residents in Lagos State were also not left out.
So gbogbo ibẹ̀ wa gbogbo nulé wa kún gbogbo ìta wa kún gbogbo nǹkan tá ti ṣe lọ́jọ́ Saturday tamata ní Sunday Monday gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ti bàjẹ́ kalẹ̀ àwọn búrẹ́dì gan ti gbogbo ẹ̀ ti wà nínú omi so gbogbo ẹ̀ wà nínú omi mo kàn lose owó yẹn even àwọn gan tó máa mú búrẹ́dì wa gbogbo wọn ló lọ àti ọjọ́ Saturday àti títí di Saturday ti èní yìí sin àti ìgẹ́ta la wà torí omi.
When the rain fell, the erosion come into my house. And it almost carried my children away. So I rushed to my children. I carry one at my back. I owed that my girl.
Anytime this rain fall, everywhere is full. Even though anywhere can't sleep, anybody can't sleep inside the house, in our house, because rain they enter the house. You understand? So everybody they pack go out.
A food for thought, however, with these reoccurrence of flooding within the Victoria Island region and the island in general here in Lagos. Can Lagos State withstand one full day of constant rainfall or 1 week of constant rainfall? What would be the fate of Lagos State if issues of this nature are not being resolved? For Plus TV Africa, Irene Ubani.
The Mandela Washington Fellowship, one flagship program for the Young African Leaders Initiative, YALI, plus a former United States President Barack Obama, don't train almost 4,000 young Africans since 2014 inside academic coursework plus leadership skills. The fellowship is shared inside one event to honor the alumni for the 2019 edition. Our correspondent, Adebanke Odunoye, been there live.
According to the African Union, Africa has the youngest population in the world with more than 400 million people between the ages of 15 and 35. Such a large number of people, if properly educated, hold the capacity to revolutionize the African continent. In order to achieve this, the Mandela Washington Fellowship, a flagship program of the Young African Leaders Initiative, YALI, which was created in 2014 by the Barack Obama administration, trains Africans in academic coursework and leadership skills. An alumni event was held in order to educate the 2019 fellows.
The Mandela Washington Fellowship was designed by President Obama in 2014 to motivate, to build young leaders, people who have demonstrated a proven track record of leadership across their cohort. It was inspired by President Obama as a way of giving back to the African community. And we're having this program today, the reunion conference, as a way to inspire, to welcome back those who were part of the 2019 cohort and kind of reintegrate them back into their society.
Fellows of the 2019 edition revealed what inspired them to apply for the fellowship opportunity last year.
I saw it as a platform that could help me develop capacity to impact the country, to impact my generation.
I applied for the Mandela Washington Fellowship because I wanted to expand my network of learning to understand the current infrastructures that has been used in creating accessibility for persons with disabilities.
Insight on how the African youth could be better equipped for leadership roles was given by one of the alumni fellows.
Equipping our youth in Nigeria is actually two ways. The person also needs to want to be equipped, you understand? And then the government also has a role to play to create enabling space for the youth to thrive.
Adekpeju Jayoba, a 2014 fellow and winner of the 2019 Leadership Impact Award, gave advice to young Nigerians and also testified of the opportunities given to her due to the initiative.
I would say that, yes, talent is universal, but opportunity is not. But however, you can find opportunities through diligence. You can check online, Google. I mean, Mandela Washington Fellowship is always open every year. There are a couple of other fellowships that are also annual like that. And it's not a function of whether you have funds or not. The key is starting now with what you have. The MWF since 2014 has offered me incredible platform to be able to expand to other parts of Nigeria with the work that we do, to be able to semi-automate our processes, to be able to even walk into other platforms because of the credibility that the US government, has put in us by investing in us. So it's a growth platform, it's a connection platform, it's a huge networking platform.
The youth have been regarded as the hope of our fatherland. More efforts are therefore needed into properly educating our youth and preparing them for the responsibilities ahead of them. Reporting for Plus TV Africa, Adebanke Odunuyi.
Time don't reach to take a quick break. Stay with us from Motori when we return.
My name is Chidebere Chuko. I'm here for my mom, receiving an award for my mom. She won Salary for Life, 100,000 naira every month for 20 years. She's been a housewife, taking care of us. Can I say that we are 10 children, and she's been the one that's taking care of us from the first to the last. And now that she needs to rest, I think this is just beautiful to just come at this time. Beyond words, and I'm just happy that she has 100,000 to herself every month. Even though I have to send some little stuff, and none of us have to send something, but sure banker, she knows that 100K is in her account cool enough. Thank you, Access Bank. And to everybody, please save money. Because save in Diamond Extra account so that you can have a chance to win Salary for Life.
Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa yarn say on Friday in government go dey forced to take action against business wey get gbege for increasing price beyond the reach for the majority for Zimbabweans. Inside the week, price for basic goods plus service don't go up sharply with business wey lack foreign currency plus rising inflation wey stem from the weak local currency against US dollar. Mnangagwa promised to do meeting with the business to find ways to resolve the unwarranted price increase. He also warned junior doctors for public hospitals wey don dey strike sake of pay rise since September 3. Mnangagwa still add say government know of external forces wey dey prop up the strike wey dem don declare illegal from Labour Court. He can tell the doctors to continue their wage negotiate with the government as then they continue with their jobs. The UN Human Rights Office don't call Egypt on top of Friday to free one prominent blogger, lawyer, plus journalist, wey be say them mistreat inside custody where they among nearly 2,000 people where they detained since street protests start 1 month ago. Officials for the Interior Ministry been no day immediately available for comment. The State Prosecutor Office Yan say inside late September, we been question plenty people when no past exceed 1,000 suspects wey join body inside the demonstrate. Unfortunately, that type of arrest still they continue, plus they don't include plenty of popular plus respected civil society figures. UN Human Rights spokeswoman Ravina Shamdasani yarn during by one news briefing inside Geneva. Protests against President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi inside Cairo plus other cities don't follow online call for demonstrates against alleged government corrupt. Sisi will enter power after we army chief where they lead the 2013 overthrow for Islamist President Mohamed Morsi don't oversee one ogbonge broad crackdown on top decent way don't extend to liberal plus Islamist group and at the right group saying that the most ogbonge inside now memory. Tori where they come next now our foreign news. Turkey will continue to offend northeast Syria more well past before if one agreement with the United States to stop the operation plus allow the withdrawal for Kurdish force no go they fully implement. President Tayyip Erdogan yarn so on Friday. Erdogan still tell journalists to say no be problem for Turkey if Syrian government force gets assist from Russia to enter area where Syrian Kurdish YPG military clear. Plus say Ankara no get a plan to stay inside areas where they under their control inside northern Syria. Instead talk, so he don't inform U.S. President Donald Trump about the offensive inside one phone call on top October 6, 3 days before the operation take a start. Up next, now our business story.
On this episode, we are one-on-one with an elder statesman, an accomplished engineer, broadcaster, pastor, and a former Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority. The cost of running this government is really high.
Yes.
Is there anything that can be done right now to salvage the situation?
You want to cut perhaps the salary of the senators and people in the National Assembly. But then when you consider that you have 36 governors, you have state houses of assembly, it is quite a challenge. The Shore case, I think, is a bit touchy. I think once the court has made a pronouncement, we should abide by the rule of law. The sex for grade, which has now gone into the universities and all that, I think something has gone wrong all round, including the churches.
Premiering this Monday at 12:30 p.m. and repeat broadcast at 8:30 p.m. on Plus TV Africa.
The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, don't say the federal government no go pay the $9.6 billion judgment fine to Process and Industrial Develop Limited, P&ID. One British court for one judgment don't summary the fine for the federal government in favor of the Virginia Island, where they register as company earlier this year. The contract needs the Nigeria government to pay $300 million for P&ID to take a set up one way to turn one dirty form of natural gas when it is burn off for one oil production enter electricity for use by local governments. Silva, as he defend the Petroleum Ministry 2020 budget before one joint committee for the National Assembly on top petroleum resources on Thursday, said the P&ID contract now wuru and Nigeria no go pay the fine at all. He tells the joint committee when Basi Akpan Akwa Ibom PDP, the Oga said the ministry ready to fix all the refineries for the country before 2023. The minister tells Nigeria people say the federal government no get plan to come out fuel subsidy. Say the petroleum consumption rates when they post daily no they show for the actual consumption for the country. News where they come for front on top Plus TV Africa News. Now our roundup on top entertainment plus top sports news. We will come back just now.
Far away in a foreign land, they have embarked on a new adventure. What challenges will they confront? What pleasures will they experience?
Is to be the best in this competition because I really want to show the African how beautiful they are. Amazing!
A brand new life with all possibilities. Nigerians in China on StarTimes.nkoa.
Wendy Williams don't celebrate her milestones as she gets her very own star on Hollywood Walk of Fame. Radio host Elvis Duran will address crowd present the award to Wendy. As in talk say Wendy they give courage to share our opinion and she don't carry people follow body with her opinion. Wendy can't give accept speech where she talk about her trouble year as she leave her husband Kevin for April. She thank her family, fan plus loyal, hardworking staff for the Wendy Williams show. She can't give special shout out to her 19-year-old son where she share with before her husband Kevin Hunter. Now so we'll take end entertainment. The very best inside sports they come up right after this break. British #1 Johanna Konta don't pull out from next week WTA Elite Trophy inside Zurich and she no go play again this season. The 28-year-old last match na quarter-final defeat with Elina Svitolina for US Open for September. Konta gets pain for her knee plus she don't decide to focus on rehabilitate for the rest of the year. She currently they rank 11 inside the world and she begin the year as number 38 and she come 4 to 47 for April. She reached semi-final for French Open and for Wimbledon quarter-final before she can get a good run to last 8 for Flushing Meadow. We can see her move back up the ranking. And that now our news roundup for events inside this hour. For more Tory updates, make on follow us for Plus TV Africa on top Facebook, Twitter, plus Instagram, and make on subscribe to our YouTube channel for Plus TV Africa. We go show later with more Ubonga Tory on a well done. My name na Destiny Momo. Get a better evening.
Is very important because most people don't know what people go through. You know, celebrities will always try to put up this strong front. People see us like, oh, I look up to them. They don't cry, they don't suffer, they don't go through the depression, they don't have any problems. So for me, as a person, I always like to share my experience with people because I want them to learn from how I've used those experiences to become a better person.
Oftentimes when we see celebrities either on social media, television, or in person, we assume they have it all together, but we forget that they're also human. Well, here are some of the low points of some of your favorite celebrities.
That's very easy. I'll just share one. That's very easy. Saying, guys, a lot of people see me now slaying and doing all the things. They're like, Brian, because see, you be fine boy now, you know as a be now. You got it easy, or you know, things better when you day. But it's not always like. Let me tell you guys something, man, guys. My first 2 years, as anything, as a model, as an entertainer, as an actor, I didn't get one job. I'm not talking about 2 weeks. I'm not talking about 3 months. I'm not talking about one. I'm not talking about 6 months. I'm talking about 2 years. So 2 years I was sitting at home. Not like I wasn't working, not like I wasn't going for castings, not like I wasn't doing whatever others were doing. I didn't get anything, guys. So put that to what you're going through now. You get, because some people get out of school and they're like, I've not made it, man. It's been like 6 months, man. Nothing happened. Bye-bye. 2 years. But here we are. So what I'm trying to say is that everybody has their own timeline. Everybody has their own story. So don't use that to say, don't be looking at somebody else's success and say, because it happened to Rami once, happened to me in 1 week. Bye-bye, no.
Nobody knows. I went through the hardship of life and I went through my ups and downs, and I just had only one person who was actually there for me, which was my mom anyways. So I had a rocky university days. I think people don't know that. I actually went to 3 universities and ended up finishing in a one shot.
I drove into a filling station and I was meant to get fuel, 4,000. Do you understand? And probably the guy that was selling, he used to be my fan when I was working, in the radio as a presenter. Like, oh, Baba, now you Casey Brown, Baba, Baba. He got confused. He gave me full tank instead of 4,000. Do you understand? So, and then I don't have up to that amount to fix it up because in real, I don't get up. All I have with me is 4,000 naira for the fuel and 8,000 naira to buy a fuel cleanser to put in my car. And the guy, so I bought the fuel. I told him, okay, fine. I'll bring you 8,600 because he was begging me, how much? God will sack me. It's not my fault, not my fault. I said, okay, fine. I'll bring you 8,600. Bro, I got so busy. I forgot about even giving the guy 8,600. The guy went straight to my Facebook and was like, stop living a fake life. You came to our filling station. You came to buy fuel for credit. They don't want to pay. Come and pay me my money. Blah, blah, blah. Stop faking a fake. Stop. I was like, this same dude that was begging me, my boss will sack me. It's my fault. And I was like, I will pay. I entered my car. As soon as I saw that thing, I zoomed straight to the station. They said the guy has been fired. The manager there was begging me. They called the guy in Ikorodu. He went straight and dropped that post himself. I didn't do it. And and the manager said, for this, because I told the guy, I said, one article online about this filling station will cost you guys a bad reputation. They said they will not pay him his balance, a salary that they're supposed to give to him. But I ended up pleading for him. Do you understand? So that is what we get every now and then.
I've worked over 12 jobs in my life. Yeah, I cleaned the lavatory on the plane.
Have you said that anywhere else?
I think on Big Brother I did.
Oh, okay.
I said, stop telling them all those things. I'm like, it's part of my journey. You know, it just reminds me of where I came from. You know, I wasn't born with a silver spoon, but of course my parents were comfortable growing up. But I had to work hard. You know, I had to work hard. So being where I am today, I always think about what I did back in the day, how far I've come, and this is only the beginning. I know that the sky is just the starting point. It's definitely not the limit. So yeah.
There was a time in my life I had just moved out of home. I wanted to be a man on my own terms. So I moved out of home, left the family business, and I went to quote-unquote hustle. I moved in with a friend of mine who lived in Shomolu. I was so broke because I had nothing. I took nothing from home. That I had to walk from Shomolu to Surulere every day for a year and a half. I had no money. I could barely afford one meal a day. My job at that point, even after graduating from university, was distributing flyers on the streets of Lagos. What that taught me about myself was that I had a never say die attitude, and I have the strength and resilience to face any circumstance. I came out of that stronger. Like sometimes I look back now and I realize if I could have survived that time, then really there are only a few challenges that will come to me or come my way that I wouldn't be able to survive. And with that kind of confidence, I think everybody, you know, when you figure out what it is about you that is special, with that confidence, you can surmount almost every issue that comes your way.
Welcome to another episode of Africa on the Move in partnership with DW. I am Fumi Onuajefe. This program focuses on the stories of people in Africa and how their innovations, ideas, and action impact on lives on the continent. On this episode of Africa on the Move, we'll be focusing on migration. Migration is currently at the center of disagreements between the mainly poor-sending countries and the richer receiving countries. Today, the world is more connected than ever. Information, commodities, and money flow rapidly across the national boundaries, a phenomenon often referred to as globalization. Sub-Saharan African nations account for 8 of the 10 fastest growing international migrant populations since 2010. According to a Pew Research Center analysis of the latest United Nations data on the number of immigrants or people living outside their birth country. So we start with Nigeria, where many young women are trafficked to major European countries, convinced that they are bewitched and they are enslaved as prostitutes by network of traffickers. Let's take a look.
Prostitution is not a work. We should stop it.
It's thought between 200,000 and 400,000 women across Europe are forced to work as prostitutes. An increasing number of them are Nigerian, like the woman we just heard. They're lured to Europe with false promises and end up in backstreet brothels or red light districts in cities like Lyon, Madrid, or here in Turin. We join volunteers from a Catholic charity who try to get the girls off the street. 9 Nigerian women currently live in this house in Italy. We can't use their real names. As recognized victims of sexual abuse, they won't be deported, at least for now. Kate arrived in Europe a year ago.
They told me they were going to find a job for me, that there is a lot of job here. But they didn't tell me it's on the streets. The job is on the streets.
For many women, their troubles begin on their way to Europe.
I was raped twice. When I was in Nigeria, the person that buggered me to Kano, and the other time was when I was in the desert. The soldiers, they also did the same.
Networks of people smugglers traffic the women. The networks are headed by so-called madams, women who enslave other women. Having been promised a great life, the women are abused by their captors when they arrive until they give in. The charity we're observing is using an online campaign to try to raise awareness about the plight of the women. Katia is one of the volunteers.
It's very common when the girls tell us that groups of men go to them to rate them together, 1 to 3 at the same moment. They ask them to do many strange things, to pay them like nothing. Like a Nigerian woman on the road is paid 10 euro. You don't buy pizza with Coca-Cola for 10 euro.
Some women have sex with up to 20 men a night. They have to pay off their huge debts. These can total as much as 40,000 euros for the journey, as well as for food, clothes, or cosmetics. But if they go to the police, the women risk deportation. That would shatter their dream of finding a much better life in Europe. In the end, they no longer know whom to trust. Sometimes even the women's own families turn against them.
It used to happen many times that the families suggest to the girls to go back to prostitution. In that case, we understand that they have been sold from their own families.
Katia and many other volunteers here believe the women can still have a better future. She helps them get their papers and report the abusers to police. The women are still terrified of breaking their silence, but they also want to see the traffickers arrested.
People, please be careful when someone offers you greener pastures on the other side of the world. Our next story is on returnee migrants who migrated illegally and have returned home to Guinea. Listen to this story.
Early morning in a chicken farm near Conakry, Mamadou Tulel Bari is working with a project for returnee migrants. In 2016, he attempted the illegal journey to Europe, but he only made it to Niger. He had seen many of his friends die along the way. He himself had been tortured by human traffickers and thrown in jail by soldiers. After he was released, the International Organization for Migration flew him home.
After I returned, many people made fun of me because I didn't make it, but I felt relieved.
I'm back home now and no one is oppressing me. I live well. Back there, we had problems with the military and we were discriminated against.
Et là-bas, je suis soumis à des problèmes militaires, à des problèmes, donc à toute discrimination.
A total of 300 people work for the EU-funded project, which was launched by IOM and a local NGO. The most important aspect, its members are made up of equal numbers of returnees and local residents. This is to ensure that everyone benefits from the project and there is no resentment within the community.
Les enfants qui sont partis, ils sont rentrés.
It's already hard enough for the kids who come back. We need to motivate them, but they also need to accept the others.
Par ce projet, il faut qu'ils acceptent aussi les autres.
Women also play a very important role in the reintegration of the returnees. Our own children are not among the returnees, but these young people could easily be our children. That's why we take care of them. My little brother, for example, also tried to leave, but criminals caught and castrated him. He has nothing left. Now he's like a woman. The boys here have all had similar experiences. That's why we need to support them. We are like mothers to them.
Mama.
Soon the first chickens and eggs will be sold. With 300 participants, their first payment will probably be low, but at least they will gain some perspective. Many young people in Guinea have lost hope. Well-paid jobs are difficult to find, and there aren't enough career opportunities. For many, escaping to Europe seems like the only way out. To counteract this, the Employment Office and the IOM have interviewed young people in Conakry.
As a result of the interviews, we can determine who is most likely to leave the country illegally. We then selected them for a total of 21 projects, such as the chicken farm, and support them.
Other young people will hopefully be spared to Lel's terrible experience. He now lives with relatives in Conakry and is studying political science. For now, at least, he has given up his dream of traveling to Europe.
All of the returnees and all of my friends warned me before I left, but I had to experience it for myself to believe it. All I would say to my friends now is to not even try it. It destroys you. Even if you do survive, you either feel so ashamed that you didn't make it or you come back crazy.
But whether or not he can really stop his friends from leaving remains uncertain. The IOM estimates that around 15,000 Guineans are still waiting to be repatriated.
Like I said earlier on, sometimes the grass is not greener on the other side. We have a similar story of returnees being helped in Niger.
These young men are travelling through Niger, but they're not taking the usual route north. Exhausted, broke and disappointed at having failed to get to Europe, they're now heading south, trying to get home. Workers at the UN Transit Centre check their stuff for sharp objects. It doesn't take long. No one has much with them. Here they have somewhere to stop, something to eat and somewhere to sleep. Many arriving here have had an awful time. Some have even been held in prison on the way.
They hit us and treated us badly. We were only given food once a day. It was hard.
Here they can recover from their failed attempt to reach Europe and get ready to return home. Officials from the International Organization for Migration collect data about where the migrants have come from and which route they took. Many have lost everything on the way. Da Ouda Mama Oudu says many people still want to go to Europe, but an increasing number are failing to get there.
There have been more migrants returning recently. The problem has been increasing over the last 3 months. Just today we have taken in 53 migrants here.
Some run out of money before they even make it to the Mediterranean and are forced to head back. Abu Kamara left Liberia 2 months ago. He's pleased to have got out with his life. Now he just wants to go home.
The thing I saw on the road is very difficult. For now, there is no one. We make this adventure, then you succeed. Either you die after Agadez to go in Tripoli, either you die on the road or you come back.
It can take weeks to get the documents they need to go home. They stay in the centre to avoid people smugglers who might pressure them to try their luck again.
Bonjour.
Sometimes migrants ask the impossible of staff here.
Bien, tout le monde? Okay.
Monica Shiriak has only been here a few weeks. She's approached by a deaf-mute man asking for help to find a job for his friend who's got to Italy. She can't possibly do anything. Well, most of them went to Europe illegally, on the boats, through the desert, with smugglers. We can't really say to people here, go on, try it. That's why we also try to reintegrate the people who come here, so they don't attempt the journey again. But can they persuade the would-be migrants to stay at home? Many still want to go to Europe, despite having failed this time around.
If I want to go to Europe, I want to go the legal process. I don't want to go on legal process, but I want to use the legal process to go to Europe.
Few want to try the smugglers' routes again. For now, they hope they can find jobs and that their families will accept them when they get home.
Our next story is on Makayambo Ngano from the Democratic Republic of Congo, a journalist who had to flee her home all the way to Germany.
You know, sometimes when you decide that I'm leaving Kinshasa to go to that place, when you decide so, and then you can just take care of everything. But when you flee, it's just like you living. It's just like you leave a part of your body. I am Makayambo Ngano. I came from Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. I'm a journalist. To be a journalist in Congo, by the time I was there in Congo, it was not so easy. First, about our security. You know, you just expose yourself. Everyone knows who you are, whatever, where you stay. And when something happening, really, they are beyond you. There where I was working, did have some problem, political problem. Then I just flee from Kinshasa to South Africa because my husband was already that side as a refugee. To my own country, I was just feeling at home. But when I went to South Africa, it's just like, I need to do so. I need to be careful because I'm not in my own country. We saw people in our own eyes to be killed. We were attacked ourselves.
We left South Africa for the very same reason again.
Political problem.
For very same reason again. See, what we have fled from our country had followed us in South Africa. When you don't feel safe, you are threatened, you are obliged to leave, and we left. We left.
Since March of this year, we have been granted the status of refugee here in Germany, and then they even told us that we're giving you that status because you were already refugee. You know. It was really stressful, and then we need to stay in the bad conditions also, if I can say so, with some people you don't know. You sleep in the same place. and then you need to do so. And you must wait for the food they're giving you. If you miss that food, you miss. What I like it here is that integration. The integration, really, I did like it. They integrate you. You must just learn the language, and besides, they're just teaching you how is the country, how the country is whole, with the culture, about everything. Really, that integration is what I like it, and it's just like they make you also to feel at home. If you want to be integrated, because there is others really they say, what is that? I don't want to, you know.
We'll take a break and then we'll be right back. Welcome back. Now we'll take a look at the lives of other migrants living in Germany as well.
Every time when you move the side to side, remember I came from Congo, I was in South Africa, I was in Sweden, today I'm here in Germany. As a Christian, wherever you go, you must search where is God. We're always going to find out our own people. That's why really I can see I'm just feeling at home when I'm going to the church. I am Makaya Bungano. I came from Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. I'm a journalist. One day I met a lady called Regina. We met because they are the one who are just like a volunteer, giving us some course of a Dutch course by the camp where we were there. That lady was just asking us if we were Christian, and then she was saying that if we want to visit a church.
So your church is a bit different to the, let's say, traditional German church. How would you say it's different? In what way?
Yes, we, as you see, we focus on worship. We sing a lot. We like to invite people, refugees, as well as other people around. We invite young people and children as well to come to our church.
It's like I don't understand everything, but I understand what is going on. And especially, I found the church with just talking about the language I want to learn. And it just making me to be happy and then to just come.
Patience is a very positive person, easy to communicate with her, so all of my friends easily came in touch with her, and so it's really a blessing for my family as well.
She's like my family. My family, they are not here. I'm here with my husband, you know. Every Sunday when I'm here, when I have time, I also go to the Congolese church.
We are very, very hot. That's why she come here to dance, because we dance, we move.
Yeah. Is it like a church in Congo? Is it?
Of course, yes.
Yes.
For me, it's just really, it just puts me in a good mood. And to see my own people, they're preaching in English, they're singing, they're preaching in French, they're singing in French, Lingala, they're singing in Kikongo, English also, even in Germany.
Would you say you found, like, you feel at home now in Germany?
I'm feeling at home.
Home away from home.
Really, I also integrate because I'm an open person. I talk to anybody.
Mhm.
I don't mind who you are, but as long as it's a person, a human being, we just talk.
Thank you for joining us on Africa on the Move. See you next week.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Cross Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Politics has helped shape the decision of the polity, from conspiracy theories to good old-fashioned comic politics.
These are the results of tomorrow's election. Okay, you have it already, have you?
I think we've done very well in the very difficult circumstances in which we took over governance.
Plus, politics will fill the polls of the country, from friends to frenemies, even strange bedfellows, to clones and stooges. We go beyond the rhetorics and the drama to analyze the story behind the story.
Let anybody come and say.
The perception in itself does more harm than actual corruption that you have.
Plus, politics, not just another political show. It's about putting you, the citizens, in the know.
Today we are back again in the slum of Ajegunle, where we bring you incredible stories. First of all, when we hear about the slum, we think of places where people live in abject poverty, dirty areas, and people in deplorable condition. And for the most part, that's what the situation is everywhere in the world, in Africa and even in Nigeria. But today we're bringing you a story of this place. Here in the school, Moritz International, where school fees are being paid with PET bottles, such as the ones I have in my hand.
We don't want any excuses for not paying your child's school fees. Your child must come to school. So we came up with this initiative. And these are plastic bottles that we've collected, and more will still come to the school. These are the plastic bottles. We collect cartons too, paper, cans, aluminium cans, carton, even pure water sachet. That's a bag of pure water sachet over there. So we exchange this for school fees because I want to see, I have the passion to see that these children learn well. We use British curriculum in the school. That is why it is called an international school. So we want these children in the slum that are less privileged, sort of, from low-income families, to enjoy education that the elites enjoy in the society too.
We are here today because we have a project we're running in partnership with the Moritz International School, and that is the Recycle Space educational project. It's a project because it's something we want to do for the community, it's something we want to do for human lives. And the beauty about the Recycle Space project is the parents are involved, the environment is involved, the school is involved, the recycling firm is involved, and everyone has a way of trying to connect with the whole idea. And so for us, we kickstarted this project sometime last year because we came about a report that was, I think, released by the World Economic Forum that said in a few years time to come, in the ocean, you're going to find more plastics than fishes. And that means that we need to start thinking of what we can do with the plastics, something productive, so that we don't end up having more plastics in the ocean than the fishes. And also we also came about a report that was conducted by UNICEF that said that Nigeria is currently #1 when it comes to the numbers of children that are out of school in the world. That figure is alarming.
Our school fees from play group to nursery 2 is 4,000 naira. Then our basic 1 to basic 6 is 5,000 naira. Termly.
So what are your thoughts on what you people are doing? The fact that you're collecting plastic bottles and sachets for school fees?
Looking at our streets today, it's very dirty and you see plastic waste everywhere. Then we think of, okay, why not we ask the parents to be part of it? Picking plastic, we call the ACI to pick it up and wait, talk about the kilo to pay their school fees.
Sometimes I go pick them, I will go sell, I will bring and call me and my mom, we use and manage because things was hard. Things they very, very critical. Nobody, no helper, my myself, now only me and my mom. So they knock hand to hand to take. Even the children, papa self has since come like say they bother them say una pikin una this thing. I say okay. At least they say single mother they take care of him pikin. Anyhow, one fit take even anything one fit do, man take care of my pikin at least before uncle come bring the pay. And true when he bring the pay bottle, it was okay. I was very, very happy because he relieved me for some kind of things, many things. Thinking of my pikin school fees, I wonder, my pikin books, I wonder. He relieved me many things because uncle self through the pay bottle self. Himself assist me. Picking the pay bottles, I will advise a lot of people. I will tell them, say, he pay. Because if he not pay me, I no go do am. Which I still dey do until now.
Children of Morris International School knows about recycling well. Imagine if everybody is picking these things around them. We'll have less waste around, and this program is a sustainable program. So you imagine this in the drainage to cause flooding. We've helped the earth, we've helped their environment. In fact, Mother Earth is happy with the school and what we are doing.
Welcome to Tea Time on Plus TV Africa, where we bring you the biggest entertainment stories and, of course, analyze them for you.
You can have both parents and still end up as a useless child. I see them every day.
Most times I worry more about where I'm coming from and where I am now, and that determines my next step.
Why are you sounding like
Alibaba
now?
Plus TV Africa, we're feeling good. No time to dull, everybody feeling alright.
Make music and people are still buying. Sometimes I look myself minimal IU.
Akpala music is for mature minded people. I got DMs sometimes from Malawi like
sleeping early.
Hello and many thanks for joining us on News on the Hour on Plus TV Africa. Here are some of the stories making the headlines. President Muhammadu Buhari on Friday receives the report of the Presidential Advisory Committee for the Elimination of Drug Abuse at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. The advisory committee, which was constituted by the President on December 11, 2018, is chaired by former military administrator of Lagos State, retired Brigadier General Buba Marwa. Other members of the committee include the wives of the President and Vice President, Aisha Buhari and Dolapo Oshibanjo. The committee is saddled with the responsibility of working towards reducing the level of drug abuse in the country. Marwa had, in January, during an official visit to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, disclosed that over 14 million people in the country were actively abusing drugs. The troops of the Nigerian army attached to the Joint Tactical Team have arrested an Islamic State of West African province logistics supplier and courier, Usman Yega, in the Gubbio area of Borno State during an operation. The army said preliminary investigations revealed that Yega, who is a Chadian, has been linked and maintained communication with 3 ISWAP commanders identified as Goni Jere, Abul Kaka, and Modu Sulum. According to a release by the Army Operations Media Coordinator, Colonel Aminu Iliasu, the troops also arrested a Boko Haram insurgent logistics supplier identified as Al-Haji Lawan with an alias Kafenol at Mainai Hari area. The military noted that all the suspects were making useful confessions to interrogators. Iliasu said troops deployed at Gubbio successfully repelled a Boko Haram attack on their location and neutralized 1 Boko Haram criminal, recovered 1 AK-47 rifle, 1 magazine, and very high-frequency radio and 1 mobile phone, in addition to syringes and injections during a mop-up operation. The Nigerian army said that its troops had continued to hunt for fleeing Boko Haram insurgents and increased onslaught against them in Borno and other parts of the northeast. The Nigerian Army Operations Media Coordinator, Colonel Aminu Iliasu, said this in a statement on Friday in Abuja. Iliasu said that the troops of Sector 3 Operation Lafia Dole had recovered an additional 4 AK-47 rifles and 1 rocket-propelled gun, tube, 160mm commando mortar. According to him, the troops also recovered 1 abandoned gun truck and 1 motorcycle belonging to the fleeing Boko Haram criminals. He added that the troops deployed at Gubbio successfully repelled a Boko Haram attack on their location and neutralized 1 of the terrorists. According to him, 1 AK-47 rifle, 1 magazine, 1 very high-frequency VHF radio, 1 mobile phone, in addition to syringes, ample injections were recovered during mop-up operations. Police bust another rehabilitation center on Monday, October 14, 2019 in Daura, Katsina State, where inmates were subjected to inhuman treatment. The owner of the center and 2 others were arrested. The Katsina Police Command on Friday said all the 67 inmates discovered at the Daura Rehabilitation Center, as well as those found at the Aniga Rehabilitation and Reformation Center, Kofa Dobi Quarters, Katsina, have been reunited with their families. The spokesman for the command, SP Gambo Issa, made the clarification following inquiries on the fate of the inmates. Investigation at the Daura and the Katsina Rehabilitation Centers also showed a dearth of activities there. Another petrol tanker has exploded along Enugu-Onitsha Expressway by Bisoy Filling Station, Onitsha, Anambra State. The incident coming barely 48 hours after lives were lost following fuel tanker explosion in Upper Iweka and Ochanga Market was said to have occurred around Omaba Phase 2 at the wee hours of Friday. The tanker carrying petrol was said to have fallen in the middle of the road, spilling its content along the drainages. Some residents near the area ran out of their buildings for fear of being consumed by the inferno. Properties worth millions, including buildings, vehicles, and other valuable, were reportedly gutted by the fire. No casualty was recorded at the time of filing this report. The Commissioner of Police, John Abang, confirmed the incident. A coalition involving a Dangote truck and a loaded fuel tanker on Lagos Island had resulted in the spilling of fuel on the road. According to reports, the road has been closed in order to forestall accidents. The incident involving a Dangote truck and PMS that rammed into each other before kilometer 0 Akin Adeshola intersection coming from Bonny Camp. The PMS, Premium Motor Spirit, spilled on the road. The road has been closed and traffic has been diverted at the moment. Emergency services were already on the scene of the accident. Men of the fire service has flushed the spilled PMS into the drainage, and that PMS was no longer leaking. Also, traffic from Bonny Camp on the eastbound has been diverted into Kofo Abayomi through Akin Adeshola. The recent rainfall in Lagos State has left many roads and neighborhoods flooded as a result of blocked drainages across the state. Irene Ubani was out of the streets earlier and files in this report.
In the past weeks, Lagos has experienced recurrent rainfall, causing a high level of inconvenience for commuters within the state.
Money DVI, they're not going to even carry money for pockets. I mean, they do road for, or me they do gutter. We don't get gutter for here.
It's not today. Since 1999, year 2000, VI always be a waterlord because everything comes from the government. They will come, they will do contracts, and we will not see the usefulness. All the old drainage is blocked. They want to be doing contract 15 times in a year. So what we've been experiencing here, if God is not saving our life, maybe one day VI is going to crack.
Anytime rainfall like this, people are not okay. Even the people who are inside the vehicle, they find it difficult to move. Because of the flooding, it caused hold up, caused traffic on the road.
Residents in Lagos State were also not left out.
So gbogbo ibẹ̀ wa gbogbo nulẹ̀ wa kún gbogbo ìta wa kún gbogbo nǹkan tá ti ṣe lọ́jọ́ Saturday tamata Sunday Monday gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ti bàjẹ́ kalẹ̀ àwọn búrẹ́dì gan ti gbogbo ẹ̀ ti wà nínú omi so gbogbo ẹ̀ wà nínú omi mo kàn lose owó yẹn even àwọn gan tó máa mú búrẹ́dì wa gbogbo wọn ló lọ àti ọjọ́ Saturday àti títí di Saturday ti yẹ ní yìí sin àti ìgẹ́ta la wà torí omi.
When the rain fell, the erosion come into my house. And it almost carried my children away. So I rushed to my children. I carry one at my back. I owed that my girl.
Anytime this rain fall, everywhere is full. Even though anywhere can't sleep, anybody can't sleep inside the house, in whole house, because rain they enter the house. You understand? So everybody they pack go out.
A food for thought, however, with this reoccurrence of flooding within the Victoria Island region and the island in general here in Lagos. Can Lagos State withstand one full day of constant rainfall or 1 week of constant rainfall? What would be the fate of Lagos State if issues of this nature are not being resolved? For Plus TV Africa, Irene Ubani.
The Mandela Washington Fellowship, a flagship program of the Young African Leaders Initiative, YALI, and former United States President Barack Obama, has trained almost 4,000 young Africans since 2014 in academic coursework and leadership skills. The fellowship held an event in honor of the alumni of the 2019 edition. Our correspondent Adebanke Odunuyi was there.
According to the African Union, Africa has the youngest population in the world with more than 400 million people between the ages of 15 and 35. Such a large number of people, if properly educated, hold the capacity to revolutionize the African continent. In order to achieve this, the Mandela Washington Fellowship, a flagship program of the Young African Leaders Initiative, YALI, which was created in 2014 by the Barack Obama administration, trains Africans in academic coursework and leadership skills. An alumni event was held in order to educate the 2019 fellows.
The Mandela Washington Fellowship was designed by President Obama in 2014 to motivate, build young leaders, people who have demonstrated a proven track record of leadership across their cohort. It was inspired by President Obama as a way of giving back to the African community. And we're having this program today, the reunion conference, as a way to inspire, to welcome back those who were part of the 2019 cohort and kind of reintegrate them back into their society.
Fellows of the 2019 edition revealed what inspired them to apply for the fellowship opportunity last year.
I saw it as a platform that could help me develop capacity to impact the country, to impact my generation.
I applied for the Mandela Washington Fellowship because I wanted to expand my network of learning to understand the current infrastructures that has been used in creating accessibility for persons with disabilities.
Insight on how the African youth could be better equipped for leadership roles was given by one of the alumni fellows.
Equipping our youth in Nigeria is actually two ways. The person also needs to want to be equipped, you understand? And then the government also has a role to play to create enabling space for the youth to thrive.
Adekpeju Jayoba, a 2014 fellow and winner of the 2019 Leadership Impact Award, gave advice to young Nigerians and also testified of the opportunities given to her due to the initiative.
I would say that, yes, talent is universal, but opportunity is not. But however, you can find opportunities through diligence. You can check online, Google. I mean, Mandela Washington Fellowship is always open every year. There are a couple of other fellowships that are also annual like that. And it's not a function of whether you have funds or not. The key is starting now with what you have. The MWF since 2014 has offered me incredible platform to be able to expand to other parts of Nigeria with the work that we do, to be able to semi-automate our processes, to be able to even walk into other platforms because of the credibility that the US government, has put in us by investing in us. So it's a growth platform, it's a connection platform, it's a huge networking platform.
The youth have been regarded as the hope of our fatherland. More efforts are therefore needed into properly educating our youth and preparing them for the responsibilities ahead of them. Reporting for Plus TV Africa, Adebanke Odunuyi.
It's time to take a quick break. Stay tuned for more news when we return. Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa said on Friday that his government will be forced to take action against businesses found wantonly increasing prices beyond the reach of the majority of Zimbabweans. In recent weeks, prices of basic goods and services had gone up sharply, with businesses citing lack of foreign currency and rising inflation stemming from the weakening of the local currency against the US dollar. Mnangagwa promised to convene a meeting with business to find ways of resolving the unwarranted price increases. He also warned junior doctors at public hospitals that had been on strike over pay rise since September 3. Mnangagwa, however, added that government was aware of external forces propping up the strike that had since been declared illegal by the Labour Court. He, however, urged the doctors to continue their wage negotiations with the government while they continue with their jobs. The UN Human Rights Office called on Egypt on Friday to free a prominent blogger, lawyer and journalist allegedly mistreated in custody who are among nearly 2,000 people detained since street protests began a month ago. Officials at the Interior Ministry were not immediately available for comment. The State Prosecutor's Office said in late September that it had questioned a number not exceeding 1,000 suspects who took part in the demonstrations. Unfortunately, such arrests are continuing and have included a number of well-known and respected civil society figures. UN Human Rights spokeswoman told a news conference in Geneva, protests against President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi in Cairo and other cities have followed online calls for demonstrations against alleged government corruption. Sisi, who came to power after a while army chief leading the 2013 overthrow of Islamist President Mohamed Morsi, has overseen a broad crackdown on dissent that has extended to liberal and Islamist groups, and which rights groups say is the most severe in recent history. We're on a short break, and when we come back, we'll bring you foreign news, so stay with us.
Honey!
Daddy, please, can I go out with you and Mommy tonight?
Sure thing, sweetie. Get your shoes and we go.
Promise?
You have my word?
Daddy!
You know I wouldn't leave without you, my princess.
There's nothing more important than a promise. We are Fidelity. We keep our word.
Turkey will continue its offensive into northeast Syria more rapidly than before if an agreement with the United States to pass the operation and allow the withdrawal of Kurdish forces is not fully implemented, President Tayyip Erdogan said on Friday. Erdogan also told journalists that it was not a problem for Turkey if Syrian government forces backed by Russia were to enter areas cleared of the Syrian Kurdish YPG militia, adding that Ankara had no intention to stay in areas under its control in northern Syria. He also said he had informed US President Donald Trump about the offensive in a phone call on October 6, 3 days before the operation started. Up next is our business news.
And in business, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timipe Silva, has insisted that the federal government will not pay the $9.6 billion judgment fine to Process and Industrial Development Limited, PNID. A British court in a judgment has slammed the fine on the federal government in favor of the Virgin Islands registered company earlier this year. The contract required that the Nigerian government paid $300 million for PNID to set up a way to turn a dirty form of natural gas burned off during oil production into electricity for use by local governments. Silva, while defending the Petroleum Ministry 2020 budget before a joint committee of the National Assembly on Petroleum Resources on Thursday, said the PNID contract is fraudulent and Nigeria will not pay the fine. He told the joint committee headed by Basi Akpan that the ministry was determined to fix all the refineries in the country before 2023. The minister assured Nigerians that the federal government has no plans to remove fuel subsidy, adding that the petroleum consumption rate being posted daily does not reflect the actual consumption of the country. Still ahead on Plus TV Africa News is our roundup on entertainment and sports. We'll be back in a moment.
Welcome to Tea Time on Plus TV Africa, where we bring you the biggest entertainment stories and, of course, analyze them for you.
You can have both parents and still end up as a useless child. I see them every day.
Most times I worry more about where I'm coming from and where I am now, and that determines my next step.
Why are you sounding like
Alibaba
now?
And Plus TV Africa, we're feeling good. No time to dull, everybody feeling alright.
Make music and people are still buying. Sometimes I look myself minimal IO.
Akpala music is for mature minded people. I got DMs sometimes from Malawi like
sleeping early.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's Tea Time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Wendy Williams celebrated her milestone on Thursday, October 17, as she got her very first star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The award was presented to Wendy Williams by radio host Elvis Duran, who addressed the crowd that Wendy gives us the courage to share our opinions, and you have swayed a lot of people your direction and your opinions. Wendy gave an acceptance speech where she talked about her tumultuous year following her split from Kevin back in April. She thanked her family, fans, and loyal, hardworking staff at the Wendy Show. She also gave a special shout-out to her 19-year-old son, whom she shares with ex-husband Kevin Hunter. That's it on entertainment. Sports news after this break. British number one Johanna Konta has pulled out of next week's WTA Elite Trophy and will not play again this season. The 28-year-old's last match was a quarter-final defeat by Elina Svitolini at the US Open in September. Konta has had pain in her knee and has decided to focus on rehabilitation for the rest of the year. She is currently ranked 11th in the world, having begun the year 38th and fallen to 47th in April. A semi-final at the French Open and a Wimbledon quarter-final before her run to the last 8 at Flushing Meadows saw her move back up the rankings. And that's our news roundup of events at this hour. For more news updates, please follow us at Plus TV Africa on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel that is also at Plus TV Africa. We'll be back later with more stories making the headlines. Do please join us again. Thank you for watching.
Mrs. Ibukun Awosika is a Nigerian business mogul, author and motivational speaker. She was born in Ibadan, capital of Oyo State, and is the third of 7 children. She attended St. Paul's African Church Primary School and Methodist Girls High School, Yaba, and obtained a degree in chemistry from University of Ife. She is an alumni of the Chief Executive Program of Lagos Business School, the Global Executive MBA of IESE Business School, and Global CEO Program of Wharton. Ibukun worked as an audit trainee at Akintola Williams & Co. during her National Youth Service Corps. She moved on and became the founder and CEO of the Chair Place Group in 2004, a conglomerate which encompasses the Chair Center Limited, Sokwa Chair Center Limited, Furniture Manufacturers Mars Limited, and TCC Systems and Services Limited, specializing in the manufacturing, retail, and bankway security system services. Ibukun serves on a number of corporate and non-profit boards, which include Chairman of First Bank Nigeria Limited, Member of the Board of Nigerian Sovereign Wealth Fund, and former Chairperson Board of Trustees of Women in Management, Business and Public Service. She chairs the board of After School Graduate Development Center. She is a multiple award-winning entrepreneur and the first Nigerian recipient of the prestigious International Women's Entrepreneurial Challenge Award as a nominee of the United States Department of State in 2008. Ibukun is an author of The Girl Entrepreneur and Business His Way. In her leisure, she loves to watch investigative and legal series. She is married to Abiodun Awosika and they are blessed with 3 sons. And this is The Mogul in 90 seconds.
This is Ajegunle, and today we bring you the incredible story of Hapizu, crippled, but has not allowed his situation to cripple him. He tells me today his story of struggle, how he moved from Gombe to Kano, from Kano to Port Harcourt, and finally lands in Lagos. So this is where he stays. Oh, okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Shigo
ba matsala.
Ba matsala bari.
Okay. Okay.
Ina kwana.
Lafiya.
Sunanka ya?
Sunana Hafizu Salisu.
Hafizu Salisu.
Na'am.
Okay. Wani aiki ne kana yi?
Da farko dai kamar yadda na zayyana miki sunana ni dan Gombe State ne. Balanga LJ. Zuwa na garin nan na zo ne bisa ga niyan jin labari da mutanenmu suna dan tuki haka sai ni ma na zo na dan koya. Ina koya kuma sai na fara tuki, shine sana'a na yanzu kenan.
Yanzu baka bara?
Ban taɓa yin bara ba rayuwata.
Okay.
Tun ina gida na yi primary school, na yi secondary school, bayan na gama kuɗi sai suka min short. Iyayena kuma talakawa ne sai ya kasance so yadda zan continue din school din sai ya kasance babu kuɗi wanda zan ci gaba da makarantar, shine yasa sai na kama dan wata kasuwanci haka kaɗan kusa da wani wanda nake dan rabuwa da shi. To haka har na dan samu na jari na bude shagona. To a hankali abun sai jarin ya zo ya yi yantin hakan nan. Sai wani abokina ya dauko ni daga can Gombe ya kawo ni Kano. Daga Kano kuma sai na wuce Port Harcourt. A Port Harcourt din kuma sai nake irin dan bangaren masu kera takalma haka. Sai nake dan zama kusa da sun kera sai su dan bani dan sai da sai dan samu na abinci. Sannan kuma ne ban labari still a Lagos ai gurago suna tuki na shauke. Bari in zo da ina zuwa kuma sai na samu haka ne. Sai ki fito dan rufe ɗakin? The first one I came in Lagos, the time I came with my brothers, I asked them how I will get keke to learn it and driving, so that my brother, I did with him, he lent me the keke and then he gave me the keke working together with him, so that now he don't travel going north. So if he came back, we are working together. Right now, I don't have my own keke now. When my brother taking me to Port Harcourt, he told me he have job in Port Harcourt. He told me that I don't know anybody in Port Harcourt, just he carry me from Kano to Port Harcourt, keep me there, go back to north.
To do what? To beg?
I don't understand him the first one. He told me job in there. For his mind, he thinking about if I went that Port Harcourt, I don't know anybody there, but I don't have job there, must be I will beg. So God protect me, I'm not begging in Port Harcourt. If I see someone is begging, then I'm here for my mind. Begging is not good. It's not good. If you're looking like government of Lagos State, even government of Lagos State, they don't want these boys beggars in Lagos. I wake up in the morning on Monday, last Monday, so that I came to tell him my keke, I want to go work. So that one guy came and met me and told me, my bros, I driving, this is your keke. I told him, yes, it's my keke. He told me, okay, no problem. I will come in to meet you on Sunday. I tell him, okay, no problem. On Sunday, he came and meet me, picture me, and then carry the picture or video, go and show someone is too happy to see me. I'm driving, and then he blessed me with wheelchair. Now the guy come and told me that man he give me wheelchair, so that I'm so happy. I'm very, very happy. So I'm praying for God. God can help us, can help me in my life, can help my brothers and sisters.
That morning I came to see Umaru that was sick, to give him food and drugs. So I met him and I asked him if he had a wheelchair and how he was doing, and he told me he did not have a wheelchair. So I wrote about him on our Instagram page, on our WhatsApp and Facebook page, and somebody indicated, Mr. Michael indicated that he was interested in him to get him a wheelchair. He sent the money, and that was how we were able to get the wheelchair.
Indeed, resilience is key, and hard work pays.
Many thanks for joining us on the show today, Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa. It's a rainy day in Lagos, and the traffic out there, it's really, really crazy. As you can see, I've got droplets of rain on my body, so at least to show you that we are part of the situation. We are not leaving you alone. So, of course, I would just hope that you get to your place of work and your destination safely, and be good. Tune to your TV channel on Star Times channel 528 and 305 to join us on the conversation talking about sports this morning. On our social media handles on Instagram and on Twitter, it is at Plus TV Africa, and on YouTube, it is youtube.com/Plus TV Africa. Well, I'm running a one-man show today, but I'll be giving you juicy information as we look forward to the weekend, where we see a big matchup between Manchester United and Liverpool at the Old Trafford. But the United squad is actually depleted because two of their major stars, talking about David De Gea, the goalkeeper, and their midfield maestro, talking about Paul Pogba, will be missing in that one. But there's a possibility for Anthony Martial to feature for Manchester United against Liverpool come this weekend. Well then, let's go straight to what we have for you this morning. Let's go straight to the female football and talk about Spanish giants Barcelona. They proved too strong for their Belarusian opponent, Minsk, with the Nigerian captain Asisat Oshoala inspiring her side to a first-leg triumph in Spain. And Oshoala was on target as the Barcelona ladies thrashed Minsk 5-0 in a Women's Champions League round of 16 game on Thursday. And Oshoala did not hesitate to put Barcelona in front and also scored her first Champions League goal since last season's final, when she finished off Caroline Hansen's pass just 6 minutes into the game. After scoring the opener for Barcelona, the 25-year-old Nigerian assisted Aitana Bonmati to net the third goal 2 minutes after Marta Torrejan doubled the lead for the host at the Estadio Johan Cruyff. With a big first-leg win in Spain, Barcelona now hold a massive advantage ahead of the second leg billed for the 30th of October in Belarus. Interesting one for Asisat Oshoala right there. Still talking about Nigerian footballers, now going over to the male side. Now, it may surprise you that Sunday Mba, if you remember that man who scored one of the goals in the 2013 African Cup of Nations, he's back. And the 30-year-old has not given up hope of playing football at the top level after his long absence. Yes, the Nigerian international has revealed his desire to return to football after 2 years of inactivity. The midfielder, he shone at the 2013 Africa Cup of Nations, where he scored 2 goals, including his match winner against Burkina Faso, which helped the Super Eagles of Nigeria clinch the trophy for the 3rd time in their history. The 30-year-old last played for Yeni Malatyaspor in 2017 and has been without a club since he was released by the Turkish club. Mba played for Enugu Rangers and Warri Wolves in the Nigerian Top Flight League before playing for French side Bastia in 2014. The midfielder then moved to Turkey to team up with Yeni Malatyaspor before he was released in September 2017. So we'll wonder where he'll be playing his football next. Talking about Sunday Mba, but we surely want to see him play again because we have missed his goal-scoring action right there on the football field. Now, going over to France and still connected with our Nigerian player, Nigerian international Victor Osimhen has been rewarded for his imperious performances last month after winning the French Top Flight prize. The Lille striker has been named the French Ligue 1 Player of the Month for September, beating Algeria and Monaco forward Islam Slimani. The Super Eagles frontman hit the ground running after joining the Great Danes from Belgian side Sporting Charleroi in the summer and has been rewarded for his efforts. The 20-year-old striker scored 2 goals and provided 2 assists last month to help his side secure 8 points. And in his impressive form ensured he beat the challenge of Slimani and Nantes defender Nicolas Palloy to clinch the individual accolade. The former Wolfsburg striker has scored 7 league goals in 9 games for the Great Danes this season. And Osimhen will hope to maintain his form when Lille will slug it out against Toulouse on Saturday. For Victor Osimhen right there, we are wishing him well right there in France. Most people actually underrated him, thinking that he wasn't going to get into the action as early as he did, getting into the French Ligue 1, but he has surprised everyone and he has surpassed all expectations right there in France. And I'm still talking about Victor Osimhen, quickly going straight to the Golden Boy list that came out some days ago. Nigerians all over the world were wondering, why do we not have the likes of Victor Osimhen and Samuel Chukwueze feature in that one? Are they not good enough? Didn't they perform so well to have a chance to feature in that one? If you ask me, I think this should have actually been a part of that list. But maybe sometime on the show, we'll get to bring in someone who can analyze this, and we can actually thrash that out and give reasons why these lads were not chosen, talking about Victor Osimhen and Samuel Chukwueze. I think they have done well, and they merit whatever accolade that comes their way this season. Now, going straight to the big one that is supposed to happen this weekend, talking about the El Clasico between Real Madrid and Barcelona. The Royal Spanish Football Federation has confirmed that they have postponed that huge clash between Real Madrid and Barcelona, which was due to be played on the 26th of October. But the La Liga fear a match with an estimated global TV audience of about 650 million viewers will be used as a platform for protest against this week's Spanish Supreme Court sentencing of 9 Catalan separatist leaders to prison terms of between 9 and 13 years for their part in a referendum held in defiance of the Spanish Constitution in 2017 and a subsequent declaration of independence. The two Spanish giants are set to agree on a new date for the match on Monday, and the Spanish League have suggested to the competition committee to play the match on a weekend as opposed to the original suggested date of the 18th of December, which is a Wednesday. La Liga believe that moving it to midweek would mitigate the global impact of the match. And Barcelona are due to play Real Mallorca on the match day 16th, while Real Madrid were meant to welcome Espanyol. La Liga President Javier Tebas would need to meet with Mallorca and Espanyol chiefs to agree to the proposal. And should the El Clasico take place on December the 7th, it will come just 2 days before Zinedine Zidane's side travel to Belgium to play Club Brugge. And Ernesto Valverde's men will then travel to Inter Milan to take on that Italian giant, of course, the Italian club side, on the 10th of December. Now, moving away from this, now let's go straight to, I just saw something breaking right now between Liverpool and Manchester City. They have been both fined by UEFA for incidents in recent Champions League matches. European champions Liverpool were fined €10,000, about £15,000, and for field invasion by spectators after a couple of fans ran onto the pitch during and at the end of their game at home to Red Bull Salzburg. And for City, they have been ordered to pay €15,750 for the throwing of objects by their fans in the home match against Dynamo Zagreb earlier this month. And Scottish champion Celtic have also been fined €12,000 after their fans set off fireworks in the Europa League encounter with Cluj earlier this month. And this is the second time such fine on Celtic they'll be receiving this season, after they were punished for fans setting off flares and throwing objects during the 4-1 Europa League playoff second leg win over AIK in Stockholm in August. Interesting one from the UEFA right there, as the hammer dangles and falls on the head of Liverpool, Manchester City, and of course Celtic. But before we get to tennis, let's take a breather, and when we come back, we'll give you the rest of the news that we have for you this morning.
On this episode, we are one-on-one with an elder statesman, an accomplished engineer, broadcaster, pastor, and a former Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority. The cost of running this government is really high.
Yes.
Is there anything that can be done right now to salvage the situation?
You want to cut perhaps the salary of the senators and people in the National Assembly. But then when you consider that you have 36 governors, you have state houses of assembly, it is quite a challenge. The Shore case, I think, is a bit touchy. I think once the court has made a pronouncement, we should abide by the rule of law. The sex for grade, which has now gone into the universities and all that, I think something has gone wrong all round, including the churches.
Premiering this Monday at 12:30 p.m. and repeat broadcast at 8:30 p.m. on Plus TV Africa.
Counts me down again. Welcome back to the show. It's still Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa as we go through the other news that we have for you, talking about the world of sports. Now let's go straight to tennis. Andy Murray has eased into the European Open quarterfinals with a straight sets victory over 8-seed Pablo Cuevas in Antwerp. and Britain's former world number 1, now ranked 243, defeated Uruguayan 6-4, 6-3 in 84 minutes. And it was only his 6th ATP Tour level win since returning from a career-threatening hip surgery. The two-time Wimbledon champion will play Romania's world number 92, Marius Copil, in the last 8. And world number 45, Kevers, saved 7 break points in the first set against Murray before the Scot eventually broke his serve at 5-4 up to take the early advantage. And Murray broke again in the 6th game of the second set before seeing out the match. And still talking about that one, in the other quarterfinals in Antwerp, Swiss 4th seed Stan Wawrinka will play Frenchman Gael Simon, while Italian 18-year-old Jannik Sinner, who shocked Gael Monfils, will take on Francis Tiafoe of the US. Argentina's Guido Pella will play either Hugo Humbert of France or Belgium's David Goffin. Interesting one from the world of tennis right there. Still talking about tennis, the 20-time Grand Slam champion returned to Roland Garros in 2019 after a 3-year absence, but was beaten by Rafael Nadal in the semi-finals. We're talking about Andy Murray. And still on that one, the 38-year-old Swiss, who has only won the French Open since 2009, will also compete at next year's Tokyo Olympics. He will be aiming to add a singles gold medal to his collection in Tokyo after being beaten by Andy Murray at London 2012. And for Roger Federer, he defeated Albert Ramos Vinolas in the Shanghai Masters final, and he has already qualified for the ATP finals in London in early November. Well, moving over to golf this morning, and Tiger Woods says that next year's Tokyo Olympics is a big goal as he looks to add to his decorated career. And the 43-year-old won his 15th major at the Masters earlier this year, but injury ruled him out of golf's return to the Olympics after a long absence in 2016. In terms of majors, for Woods, he's the second most successful male golfer of all time, with only Jack Nicklaus having won more with 18. And the top 15 players in the world rankings qualify for the Olympics with a limit of 4 players from each country. And beyond the top 15, the 60-strong field will be filled by a maximum of 2 players from each country who do not already have 2 or more players in the top 15. And Woods is currently 9th in the world, but is the 6th highest ranked American. And Justin Rose won men's gold for Great Britain in Rio when golf appeared at the Games for just the 3rd time and the first time since 1904. And in the world of Formula One says that it has an agreement in principle with the owners of the Miami Dolphins NFL Stadium to hold a race in the Florida city from the year 2021. And it is the latest development in an attempt by F1's owners, the US firm Liberty Media, to establish a race in Miami. And still on that one, the proposal features a new track layout looping around the Dolphins' Hard Rock Stadium in central Miami. And organizers face a series of hurdles before the race takes place, including approval by the Miami-Dade County. A previous attempt by the Formula One, which featured a track in downtown Miami that went over a bridge to Miami Port and back, has already foundered following concerns about interruptions to business caused by the construction of the racetrack. And wrapping up this morning with the world of rugby, Wales backs Jonathan Davies, Dan Biggar and Hadley Parks have all been passed fit to face France for the World Cup quarterfinal on Sunday. And Davies has recovered from a knee injury suffered against Fiji, while Parks picked up a shoulder problem against Uruguay. And Biggar suffered separate head injuries against Fiji and Australia and was forced off in both games. And wing George North is also available after recovering from an ankle injury. Aaron Wainwright has been given a back row place alongside Justin Tipurich and Josh Navidi, with Ross Mariotti named on the bench. That's coming from the world of rugby this morning. Now, going into some other news that we have for you. We know that the Handball Premier League has come to an end, and we're also looking forward to the kickstart of the Zenith Women's Basketball League, and it kicks off at the indoor sports hall of the National Stadium. That's in Surulere. The very best of women's basketball will be played starting from today to sometime next week, the 24th or thereabouts. So we're looking forward to interesting basketball. And of course, the male basketball league will also be kicking off this weekend. Surely yours sincerely will be there to get some of those videos. And when we get back here, of course, we'll let you see how the games are going down right there at the indoor sports hall of the National Stadium. And in football, we're looking forward to the kickstart of the Nigerian Professional Football League on the 3rd of November. And the football fans are still skeptical, saying they're not sure if the league will really kick off. But the LMC, they have given their word that the league will be kicking off. But it will be an abridged version of the Nigerian Professional Football League like we had it last season. I'm sure the same thing will happen this time around, hoping that we can get a balance with the European calendar.